Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another Major League MechWarrior cast. No, not Major League MechWarrior. MechWarrior Online League Network. Keep getting those confused, but we're here. Karpundir's going to be back in just a second, but he apparently takes really long pees, so we're just going to have to wait for him. Siri was going to be joining me, which is actually why I am dressed up all nice, but he bailed on me, so I don't love him anymore. And Carp's my new best friend. So here we are, we're going to be casting Imperial versus Clan Smoke Jaguar in RHoD Week 4. And it should be a good match. These are the only two undefeated teams in RHoD right now. Both have a 3-0 record. And so we'll see how this goes. Lots of good players on both sides. So let's check out some match history really quick here. See, it looks like Clan Smoke Jaguar just came off of a 3-1 win over QQ, and so I'm sure we'll have some input from Karp on how that all went. And let's see, Imperial just came off a 3-0 victory over 228th Blackwatch, so yeah, this is going to be a real fun match to watch and spectate. In contact with Heim to make sure they don't drop without us. I don't see them in... Oh, they are in lobby finally, so that's good. First map here is going to be Tourmaline Desert. It is going to be a 2-3-2-1 deck. That's 2 lights, 3 mediums, 2 heavies, and 1 assault. This is Conquest, no strikes. It's a best of 5 series. And you can only capture the middle point. I think there have been some changes in the rules recently where accidentally capping one of the other points doesn't matter unless the game comes down to points. You cannot win on points if you accidentally capture one of the points you're not supposed to. So yeah, Imperial, obviously, you know, mostly just X-Lords players. You know, I'd guess one of the top 2 teams in the game right now, them and SJR. They are just aggressive as hell for the most part. Sometimes they'll play a trading game, but usually, from what I've casted so far, they just seem to steamroll over. Clan Smoke Jaguar, on the other hand, tends to be a little pokey. I have not seen a ton of them, but a lot of their old players have played on a lot of those teams that favored, you know, some ER large kiting strategies. So it'll be interesting to see how these two mix, or if one of the teams decides to adapt tactics to that. I just want to say, this is like the world's longest piss. Did you take the world's longest piss? Like, damn, girl. Okay, just so you know, I have started streaming and introducing stuff, the teams. So I guess CSJ. Tell us your thoughts. I know they came off a 3-1 with QQ last week. Yeah, I'm curious to see if Imperial tries to push CSJ and push them out of their comfort zone, or if they just intend to go toe-to-toe and sort of trade with them. Heimdallite says they're inviting everyone to lobby right now, so I expect them to drop within 2 or 3 minutes here. Yeah, I've got my spectator thing loaded up. I promise I'm not just going to leave paint up the whole time again. Whatever, it was only the first say no to paint, not even once. Yeah, we got map tactic, as you can see maybe on the screen in front of you. I'm going to draw stuff just because I can, and it's pretty awesome. And yeah, check that out. Still no other word from Heim yet. Let's see. So, what is it? 2, 3, 2, 1. What kind of a drop deck are you expecting to see there? Seems reasonable. I am curious to see if these teams will go with a Hellbringer to get ECM, or if we'll see the usual Imperial approach of, fuck it, I'd rather have another Timberwolf. Red's team 1, Blue's team 2, as far as I know. Well, remember, you can draw on this thing. I hope. Can you? Wait, I do? That's horrible. I just clicked you, so it changed your name. Give that a shot. You could just do sketch. I just do sketch, draw lines for everything. What the fuck? Okay, hang on. There's another... Now there's another map on the map. I don't even... Alright, I'm gonna trust you on this. I hope this didn't blow up OBS or something horrible here. No? Okay, you're still there, I'm still here, map's still there. Good enough. Okay. Works. Wait, what? Does this not have audio capture from Skype? Okay, here's the plan. Mute your Skype shit. That's great. Okay, well, at least we know now. Okay, you need to talk to me in TeamSpeak. Mute your mic in Skype, and let's do it that way.
Sound resumed. Microphone activated.
Okay, I can hear you in TeamSpeak. You're... Yeah, I'm here, but you need to unmute me. Yeah, you have your TS sound turned off. Not that talking to you verbally is going to fix that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Is that Heim? Almost ready. Okay.
You sound really faint over here, so I gotta turn you up, Bill.
I hear you double now.
You gotta mute one. Mute the TeamSpeak. Mute me. Like, just mute me in TeamSpeak.
Oh, this is great.
Right click me and then mute me.
Sound muted.
How about that? Well, that's just it. I need to hear your sound in TeamSpeak. I need your... Can you, like, turn off your mic in Skype? Like the little mic icon at the bottom of our call?
Yeah, that's what I did. It's
Okay,
muted.
okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
It's muted. Okay.
We are the
Holy
winners.
frick.
It only took us like 5 minutes to figure out. Okay, sorry about that, everybody, and thank you for...
Okay.
Yeah.
Always problems the more.
Yeah, okay,
fans
so
try to
about
use.
that analysis that you gave that absolutely no one heard, let's do a quick recap on that. CSJ, thoughts?
Okay. So, yes, my lips were moving, but nothing was coming out. So, CSJ known for long-range standoff. They're really good with Gauss and ER large. EmP is no slouch at the long range as well. EmP may decide to be more aggressive and just try to shorten the distance and play the short mid game, which they're really good at as well. Looking at the first round, Tourmaline Desert, I feel like there's going to be probably a standoff around Gamma. So what I was drawing here on Map Tactic was something, this is what I think will happen, is probably some kind of standoff here where you've got both sides on opposite sides of Gamma, and they're just going to trade at the more mid-range. You may see some, if they take some long-range lights, you might see them post up somewhere high back here or even up here, right? Just getting up on the tourmalines and shooting with air larges. So that's a possibility. We wouldn't be surprised. They might go right for the brawl. So really anything can happen because of this King of the Hill mode.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. I'm also interested to see if one team sort of takes the knife fight lights, the fire starters, and goes for the quick cap on Gamma, or if they'll both just stick with the Raven 2Xs and trade it out. I like how people keep saying you're muted. We're on a 5-minute delay. I'm sorry, I can't fix it that fast. Thank God you were reading the stream chat, because I am always too disorganized to keep track of all this and do that. That would have been great.
What?
Just
It's
the
a
whole
lot.
time. It would have been like the opposite of Mag. Like, he didn't have the spectator client, but he could talk at least. You're there on video.
Yeah.
And you have the spectator client, but no. No audio.
All right, cool.
Still waiting on a word from Heim. They're in a lobby, and they've been in a lobby for 15 minutes. This is the sort of thing that makes me rethink that 10-minute between drops rule that I have for Major League MechWarrior. Because, damn girl, how long does it take to get into a lobby and just get this done? Speaking of which, time to plug stuff. First off, Major League MechWarrior. It's a tournament, and it's coming up. It starts next week. We've got the roster, 24 teams. The brackets will be posted as soon as PGI gets us the team rankings, and it's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to shoutcast as much as we can. First week's matches are going to have the top 8 seeds are going to have a bye, so you're going to see a lot of new competition, a lot of scrappy fights. It's going to be really exciting. Going down the list, Smurfies, MWO reference.
Match is starting.
Okay, there we go. Good. Let's get in on this.
Okay, so I will flip over to the aerial perspective.
Okay.
You're just doing one window, right, Bill?
What do you mean?
Take down Map Tactics.
There we go. I got it.
All right.
We're
Okay.
rolling. Okay, so for Imperial, we've got Raven 2X, 2 Timberwolves, a Direwolf, Firestarter, and 3 Storm Crows. So they sort of went on the split with lights. And for Clan Smoke Jaguar, it's going to be, of course, Storm Crows, Timberwolf, Direwolf, and both Raven 2Xs. So they're going trade heavy right now.
So you can see here they've already set up. They're going for the sort of mid to long trade. I'm seeing what looks like large pulse and mediums.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this engagement is definitely in favor of EMP position wise, because they've got that ridge that they can hide behind. They're closer to Gamma. They could, if they really chose to, they could take one guy over and just grab Gamma and run the clock sitting back.
Still, though, Twinkie is already cored out CT. That is their Direwolf. He has made some bad trades. I think they've actually got a good firing line up there, CSJ does. They're standing out in the open, but every time a mech peeks out from Imperial, they're getting hit with a lot of fire. Heimdallite also down to 78%. Twinkie's at 67%. Let's take a look in Heim right now.
Yeah, so you've got Proton sitting up top of Tourmaline shooting. Yeah, I think actually surprised at the position that EMP is. They're all not able to shoot back at one time. Whereas if you look at EMP's or CSJ's positioning, they're just keeping their firing lanes open, and they're doing exactly what they do best, which is the long range poke.
Yeah, and they have pushed EMP back. They're moving up. Clan Smoke Jaguar is now advancing. We're going to go straight in on Ring Wraith as he's leading the charge and taking damage.
Now, percentage-wise, let's see here.
It's definitely so far CSJ's favor. They've done more damage, and that Direwolf is one-hit CT.
Now, Aurora in a light is 100%. Esoteric and Twinkie are in the 60s. Oh, Pasha is actually dropping really fast. What's Pasha?
Oh, Heimdallite's getting caught out in the open, and no, not yet. He's still alive. Banana Nut's there, but EMP is
Pasha
pretty...
went down. So we've got a 1-0 lead right now by EMP.
It looks like CSJ's charge has scattered, and Heimdallite's still up. Lots of damage on those Timberwolves.
Trying to get, yeah, this is going bad now because EMP has the high ground over CSJ.
EMP is pushing left. A couple of CSJ guys are pushing back around behind EMP, but these CSJ guys caught out in front are not looking good. Ring Wraith is about to go down. He goes down. It's only a Storm Crow.
Yeah. 3-1 EMP, 4-1 EMP.
Yep. And now it's just a Storm Crow and a Raven trying to clean things up. Got another kill. Ooh, team kill.
There is a UAV up that nobody's touched, so that's giving. I think that belongs to EMP.
I think you can tell, unfortunately, but yeah, it does seem like EMP knows what's going on at this point. And now they are just chasing him down. That said, EMP's weak.
Yeah, but you still have Banana Nut Muffins and Aurora, who are in pretty decent shape from the looks of it.
Yeah, it's clearly going to go EMP, but yeah. It was definitely a close fight. I think a little bit better focus fire by CSJ, and they would have had it. I think that push just stalled out at the wrong moment, and EMP had a chance to recover. They had some really icky positioning there, but they pulled it out.
Take a screenshot of the end-around match, and let's throw it into the window.
That is a good plan. If I can figure out how to do that. All right.
Just control print screen. Grab it.
Okay. So...
throw it in paint, crop it down, stick it in the window.
Yeah, okay.
I know you love your paint. I know you love your paint.
Okay, in the meantime, want to do a round recap on map tactics here while I find this screenshot.
Yeah. Yep. So, let's see. Can I clear this? Yes. So basically what happened was, let's pick blue. So what CSJ did was they took this spawn and this spawn and move their guys up into this position. Alt tab, move their guys up here. So they had basically a firing line shooting across, and EMP was spread it a little bit through the. They had some guys kind of up here in the tourmalines, and there were guys poking from this side and from this side from the looks of it. So they're kind of a little more spread out. And at one point, CSJ decided to push. I think they felt like they had the advantage damage-wise, which they did based on the percentages we're looking at. And they didn't want to trade anymore. I think that was the mistake. I think they should have traded a little longer, maybe if they were winning those trades, and then did a push in. But I think they might have thought they were so split up that they wanted to push the one side and try to get some early kills. But EMP was really quick to compress, and the way they compressed, they all kind of pulled back into this zone, and they had some higher ground, and EMP pushed. Let me use a different color here, or when CSJ pushed, I should say. CSJ pushed kind of through here, and that pretty much put them on low ground, and that tide turned really, really quickly.
Yeah, they ended up just sort of stalling out, to be honest. Let's see. I'm gonna get this. It's blue. Blue's good. Right here where I drew this that blue ball of crap. That's sort of where the push stalled out for CSJ. And if they had just picked a side and really pushed it, I think they could have taken it from EMP. But the push in and then just sort of floating around at the end of that corridor there did not work out well for them, although it was very close. I mean, what was Banana Nut Muffins running in that Stormcrow? He got almost 650 damage.
I want to say they were running Goss Meads or Goss Large Pulse. I didn't actually spectate him, so I wasn't 100% sure. Maybe somebody could comment in the Twitch chat when that rolls around. But
I've got the damage screen up right now, and it looks like a fairly even spread from EMP, except for Banana Nut, who really pulled a lot extra. Twinkie, only 138 in his Direwolf. Like I said, he made some really bad trades early on, and they definitely punished him for it.
The Dire is such a huge target. It's a natural first target, and you just rip into it as much as you can. And usually you just end up stripping weapons. So that the Dire is really effective at the beginning until you get focused, 4, 5, 6 to 1. And then it's just got to back off. You just can't expose yourself for too long. But the Goss there was definitely, I saw in Heim Delight's build, he was running Goss and Large Pulse, and we saw some Large Pulses coming from the EMP side, or the CSJ side, I should say. So I think the builds were probably quite similar. Was there any difference in the drop deck since you have the screenshot?
Not really. It was just 2 Raven, 2 X's for CSJ, and Imperial took 1 fire starter for a little more close-in dogfighty kind of stuff. I mean, I think you're ultimately right that the big mistake was pushing it at all. I think they had it if they had just stood off and kept trading. They had it. They were, I don't know, I'd say 150% on damage.
I did notice that CSJ's Stormcrows looked like they were running 2 large, 2 medium, 2 large pulse and 2 medium lasers, ER mediums. So that might have been the rationale for them pushing as EMP was pulling back. I think they were trying to get outside of that ER medium range. So that reduces the effectiveness of the trades for CSJ. So that might have been what was the catalyst for them pushing forward.
I mean, it's definitely not a bad idea to capitalize on those early mistakes. I mean, again, Imperial's Direwolf's almost dead. They look pretty split up. You've pushed them back beyond the hill. It's not a bad time to charge, but if you're going to do it, you got to commit. You got to know which way you're going, and you got to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I guess any other thoughts on that before I get the next map up here?
I think that's, I think we pretty much covered that. I mean, the next drop is 3302 on Alpine Peaks. So you want to talk about long range trading. This is probably going to have 3 2Xs, 3 long-range Stormcrows. Possible alternative could be the Shadowhawk 2K because of that high shoulder mount and very little exposure. It's something that QQ had been testing internally to see whether or not the 2K versus the Stormcrow. You have so many pros and cons between the two. The Shadowhawk 2K being high mount, little exposure. You can run 3 or large without ghost heat. You can change it to a standard engine if you want to make it tankier. And the downside is, of course, if you lose that left torso, you have no weapons left. Versus the Stormcrow, which has a bit more range on its ER large. It is spread out more. You got to expose the Stormcrow more to get all 3 beams firing, and it is tankier because you can lose a side torso and still keep going. And the arms are just throwaway in that build. You put the ER larges in the head and the 2 side torsos, so it does have some shielding, like the Shadowhawk. And then the 2 assaults are definitely going to be dire wolves. I wouldn't be surprised to see ER large stalkers. That could be an alternative.
Yeah, especially with the trading fight. If you do plan to go on a heavy trading deck, I think that the dire wolves are mostly just not. They're just not good trading mechs. They're giant blimps. They're easy to hit, easy to focus components on. They're too slow, but the stalkers just got a great peaking profile. If you notice on the map, I have put up the sides based on what I'm guessing from what Heim is telling me. Heim said that CSJ invited them to lobby, so I assume that means that CSJ is Team 1 and Imperial is Team 2. We're waiting on 2 more, so I'm assuming that we'll be in drop within, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes.
In this map, the best spot on the map, really, because you want to overlook Theta. Theta is the king of the hill part of the map. This area here just gives you complete dominance. It's higher ground than this area, which is the other trading point. So you might see some trades this way. I mean, if CSJ really wants to go longer range, you might see them post up further back. But I think really CSJ is going to want to go there, and EMP, if they're smart, which I'm sure they are, I think they won't let them get that, and they'll probably do similar thing to what SGR did and what we did in our drops, is go up here and set up a firing line, actually more like this angle, and push them off of that top hill, because now EMP from H9, H10 will have higher ground, and they'll have the ability to duck back in here into this area for cover. Whereas these guys, the only way they're really going to have cover is to either I'm just going to clear this little section. The best way they're going to have cover.
You gotta like click a thing and then hit erase selected.
I know,
it's kind of
really
janky.
Annoying.
Yeah, I wish there was like an undo.
Yeah, so the real cover here is sort of like right behind this part here, and that's not you can't put a lot of mechs there. So when you're sitting there, you're trying to hold that hill. All that EMP has to do is move just a little bit this way and do a group push, and that's it. Like they're forced to come back down here. So if they do that, then they might have to reposition sort of here and maybe wrap around and come back up here. So I think that's really the fallback position that they're faced with.
Yeah, it's that hill. It just they made this map to where there's really only one place that matters. That said, I could also see a sort of strategy where they basically just hide behind the ridge at Theta. It's not a great position, but they'd effectively be relying on the caps to force CSJ to come off the hill. I could definitely see that sort of thing happening, especially after that first drop there, where I think EMP knew they were losing and they still pulled it out with the brawl. So I'm I sort of feel like Imperial's going to try to push CSJ and not let them sit in their comfort zone because they were definitely winning those trades, and it looks like we have launched in. So let's get on it.
Okay.
Okay, getting that
So
up.
Alpine Peaks, 3 lights, 3 mediums, and 2 assaults. So I'm expecting to see 3 Raven 2Xs, maybe 1 3L and 2 2Xs, maybe all 3Ls for that ECM.
If you want to go look at CSJ, I'm starting right by Imperial here, so I'll give their loadouts.
So I'm already seeing, on the CSJ side, I'm already seeing Raven, Stormcrow, Stalker. So they chose to go with the Stalkers. And that's not a surprise. The 4 ends with 6 large lasers, high mounted, 4 of them high mounted. They can barely peak, and they can do some long range, mid to long range trading quite well.
The match is taking a while to start here, and so part of me thinks we have a crash.
Yep, that's probably it.
And for those of you that have noticed that whenever I switch around Windows and Skype, it covers up Car's face momentarily. Yeah, it's a known problem. I tried to get the little breakout window to do what I wanted it to do, but not today. We've always got room to improve, and that will be on next cast. For now, you're just going to have to watch text as Haim and I chat back and forth. Still hasn't started. Really expecting something broken at this point. So I'm gonna. Haim's typing to me.
All right.
Teams are paused right now. Waiting for Rick Rom to reconnect. All right. So we have the scoop. We know what's going on, kind of. It's
You gotta update results. 1-0.
Oh, hey, good plan. Perfect time to do that.
That's okay. Surly Mohawk was the one who pointed that out in the chat,
Surly,
so I'm just trying to follow the chat here.
Good plan, good plan. This is why I love having another caster here.
And Banana Nut Muffins was in a Gauss laser.
They're killing each other. I see it now. The percentages are going down rapidly.
Okay. Well, we can at
see.
least get a sneak peek at the loadout here.
Both Raven 2X. Oh, there are 3 lights. Oh, well, I think it's all Raven 2Xs from Imperial. I see.
Yeah.
Did I see a Warhawk? No, it must have been
Imperial. Imperial took a dire wolf. So
I guess we'll know at the end of the round screen. Maybe if it decides to show the chassis. Confirmed, CSJ is better at killing each other. And no, we don't get to see what mechs they were taking because this thing is broken. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's okay.
So Imperial took 2 dire wolves, and CSJ took stalkers. So the big difference here is, I mean, the dire wolves have 15 tons more. They're gonna run probably triple Gauss. I'm guessing it's gonna be triple Gauss and 2 to 3 ER large on the EMP side. That's my guess. The Gauss is such a, I mean, triple Gauss on a dire is just, it's so powerful. I don't think the stalkers can afford to trade for very long if those dires are up.
It's true, but that said, I think that the stalkers can take those shots that the direwolves can't take. The direwolves have to commit. If they start shooting, they have to just stand there, occupy that space, and outtrade whatever they're trading with. Whereas the stalkers can be sneaky, poke up, take some shots, get the hell out of there. And 6 larges, that's nothing to scoff at.
No, but looking at where EMP stack up the dires, that looks like they're going for that top of the hill, just as we were talking about. So they're going to go up, take the top of the hill, and basically control H9, H10. I didn't see how CSJ's lances were set up. Did you catch where they were set up?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. That was really wish that bug was not there so I could actually see what people were running, but sadly, it's not in the cards for us today.
Yeah.
But
that's all right. So this is going to go. This is probably going to come down to whether how fast they can dispatch the direwolves. I think if those direwolves stay up long, then I think this is going to go EMP's way because the direwolf just is going to pump out so much pinpoint damage versus the lasers, which are a little splashy, but CSJ is good at holding pretty steady on target. So it could. I think it's going to come down to the ranges that they post up at too.
Definitely. We'll see how, if you're right and EMP takes the big hill and pushes off from, Hotel 9 down towards Epsilon, it'll be interesting to see how CSJ reacts, because for Imperial, I expect, death ball. And they're going to have to with those direwolves again. Once they've committed, it's just got to be full force, and they just got to kill anything that peeks at them. So we'll see how that plays out. Like they are almost ready again. And for those of you in Twitch chat, they're like, what the hell? Bill's in a tie. Why would you dress up nicely? You're homeless Bill. Well, I was just trying to be a dick to Siri and look better than he did, but then he decided not to show up. So, again, Karp is my new friend, and I'll never talk to Siri again. I'm going to burn Outreach to the ground. That's what's going to happen. I'm gonna delete the whole thing, kids. So yeah. All right, they're in. Let's rock.
Okay, so I'm gonna spectate again.
Yep. Okay, bringing up MWO client. We're good. 3 for 3, no paint.
Your map's down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sweet. Okay.
And they're moving. All right. So EMP. Again, 3 Raven, 2 X's, Direwolves,
going for the top of the hill.
And Stormcrows, of course. CSJ, both Stalkers. And again, 3 Raven, 2 X's, and of course Stormcrows, because what other medium would you take? As you thought, Imperial is going to go take the big hill right now. They've positioned their lances so the fatties are right there. So in about a minute here, they'll all be up top and ready to push down. CSJ, in the meantime, is floating.
Yeah, they're going for the lower hill closer to Theta. From the looks of it, they've spotted EMP now. They're starting to do some of the trades. So it looks like the Stormcrows and the Stalker. Yeah, they're going right over to the J line hill, and this is gonna cause EMP to push down to that optimal ridge line, and the higher ground is gonna make a difference.
I mean, at first I was going to say it's a smart move on face because, they know what's coming and they know they need to be out of the way. That said, I think they did start scooting maybe a little too quick, so they're just giving the good ridge away to EMP. EMP's direwolves are just getting up there at this point. Wow.
So CSJ, yeah, and that's the thing too, right? The Dyers are a lot slower than the Stalker. You're talking about an 8 kph difference for a standard 300 Stalker. So, standard 310, I should say. But
now, CSJ is taking. They have taken the cap point. They've taken Theta or whatever the hell that is there. So they are going to force EMP to act, which I don't think they're going to have a problem with because again they have direwolves, and once they commit to the fight, they are going to be committed.
Yeah. So it looks like the EMP Ravens, they're at 93 and 94% time to light and imminent. And where's my third Raven? Why don't I see him? Anyway, that's interesting.
So as you can see, CSJ really taking the back of this ridge here as far as they can. It's not really going to help them protect the cap point, to be perfectly honest. EMP can just go ahead and take it, and they can't do much about it. That said, it's not a great position to be in, so I don't expect EMP to really move there if they don't have to.
The idea here is that taking the cap early eventually will force EMP to have to come down the hill and deal with the cap, because now CSJ could just sit behind, and you can see, some of their guys are poking. The Ravens are all up there poking. The Stalkers are repositioning right now. I think they're trying to go up the right side of that hill.
I literally don't see anything for CSJ except for ER large lasers. I'm not sure I saw a single weapon that was not an ER large laser, whether it was on a Stalker, a Raven, or what have you. Wow.
Well, the trades are going pretty well for CSJ right now. The Stormcrows, as I mentioned before, the Stormcrows taking a little bit of damage. Their Ring Wraith is down to 84%. One of the Ravens had to back off. He's at 72%. The Stalkers are pretty fresh, 98 and 95% on the CSJ
One of their
side,
Ravens
so,
looks like it's taking quite a bit of damage, though. 72%.
yeah, he backed off. He backed off. Solitude's at 70%. I'm just going to jump inside his cockpit. I'll give you an idea where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Solitude's still got armor. He's got a red torso. So he's still able to trade until he's got an open component, but he's definitely taken some... He's probably taken the most damage on the team from the looks of it. Ring Wraith just took a pretty hard alpha, but he's in good shape. His left arm is open though, so he's going to lose 2 ER larges pretty soon.
EMP's Direwolves both down in the 70s. I'm going to check out Proton here, because that's, depending on how that's spread, that is not a good thing.
Yeah, and there it is, the triple Gauss, triple ER large. Like I said, it was either going to be 2 or 3 ER large, but triple Gauss. I mean, just super strong for this map. It's the only way to go.
Yep,
Yep.
everyone's opened up. It looks like Solitude's now cored out.
I see
think it's
more... If I were to add up the damage numbers right now, EMP has taken more damage overall.
Yep.
Yeah, Sealith, open CT, open right arm.
And frankly, the
Proton's
assaults
down
for
to
CSJ are looking pretty good. I mean, fresh stalkers are just not something you want to see. That said, the CSJ mechs. Oh, there we go. First kill. Selith goes down. So
Yeah.
now the advantage really goes to CSJ here, and all they have to do is hold on. Proton's just playing it cautious. He knows he can't afford to poke out too much more. Banana Nut Muffins and the Stormcrow also not looking great right now. I don't know how they're gonna come on this.
You know, you're looking at Boss 2 ER large and Banana Nut Muffins, and then when you go over to Conic Notice to Proterra, he's running 4 ER large in his Stormcrow. That's pretty hot, but I mean, I guess if you're just doing single pokes, you just go 2-2 and then duck back. Five ER large on Esoteric. The Raven X, the 2 X's are actually running 3 ER large, just regular large lasers, so they're getting half the quirk. But they're able to reach out to A10, and they get some pretty good heat benefit there.
Looks like Banana Nut Muffins is about 1 hit away from biting the dust, so we're gonna... Oh, I thought that was it.
Solitude's orange crit right now, and Ring Wraith is lost 1 ER large. He's about to lose his other side torso. So if he loses his right torso, then he's out of the fight.
Still just
Where's
trading,
Banana?
and it's still going CSJ's way.
Oh, Banana's crit.
Yeah, Banana,
right
I thought
now
he was gone on that shot that I watched him take. Didn't quite take him out, but he is just a scrape away.
Yeah. Now, Behind Delight's running just regular large lasers, so there's the difference right there in the 2x trading. You know, your 540 meter versus 810, you're just not going to get the damage. That's when I'm just going to watch Himes poke and see what kind of range he's seeing. So it's 600, it's about 550, 600 meters to the front of the hill, but they're at the back. So it's not too bad.
It's some very cautious play here, and CSJ's sort of backing off the hill. They see no reason to trade, considering, you know, they're a player up. They're up on caps. They just want EMP to make the move.
They have to push. Yeah.
And I don't know what EMP wants to do right now, because honestly, the trade war isn't going well for them. That said, the Ravens aren't doing too horrible. Time is going in his Raven 2X. I believe he's either going in for a distraction or a cap. Let's watch this play out. If I can get in his cockpit fast enough.
Well, is it that Heim you're saying that's moving down there?
Yep, okay, yeah, and Heim's up by Epsilon right now. Banana Nut and his weak Stormcrow has also moved up. I don't know if they're trying something sneaky here where they're going to do a distraction with their weakest mechs, but it sure Well, looks like the rest of EMP is starting to make some moves here. All of CSJ has basically turtled up down there behind Theta,
Yeah.
J6J7.
But in the last couple of minutes, though, the CSJ players have taken a lot of damage, so I think it's still in their advantage to just sit back and
There are two
let
CSJ
them
players
push.
strung out over on the left, and Banana Nut's only one shot away, but if they get caught, they might do a 2-for-1 trade here. Find out. 3 Imperial mechs are still way back there, so I don't know if
Nova
they've
in the
snuck
water
these up
is-
here. They might have
Nova in the
snuck these up
water,
here.
Solitude, and Ring Wraith are all in danger of getting killed. Ring Wraith he's still got good CT armor, but his right torso is open and he's already lost his left torso. But again, looking at the damage numbers, you've got 3-4 mechs showing red on the EMP side.
EMP pushing around right in I-5, trying to catch CSJ out of their defilade. Heim goes down. He was one shot away anyways. The rest of Imperial is now trying to move up, but the weak mechs in front are getting picked off. 2 of them are already down. Twinkie's not looking good.
So now they're trying. So EMP is looking to have a 2-angle approach from the looks of it. They've 2 mechs out in I-5, and then the other 3 mechs are by Epsilon. So I think what they're going to try and do is cut down. They're going to try to hit from the 2 angles and basically grind down EMP or CSJ, I should say, from 2 different directions. So that'll cause a bit of confusion.
They are trying to throw them out of their headspace with this play. They know CSJ is not aggressive, and they know that they're probably safe pushing up with half of their force. That CSJ is not going to get aggressive again.
Khan just took what looks like he just took a hit there, but he's still got all his weapons and he's got an open left torso right now. So from the looks of it, that's only one of the ER larges, based on the way they've been poking.
I can see 2 CSJ mechs just ready to bite the dust right now. The Direwolf is moving up. We're going to go ahead and stay with Proton here, because when this Direwolf goes down, I think the hopes of EMP dies with it. So, unfortunately, that Stalker is pretty fresh over there. Yep, the Direwolf goes down. The Stalkers are still in pretty good shape. Brithen's almost gone. Twinkie's almost gone.
Yeah, this is definitely CSJ at its best. Long range trading.
This is it.
And this time they exercised the patience that they should have done in drop 1.
This is how it would have played out too. I expect if the trades would have kept going like that. I think that as good as EMP is, that this is what CSJ's game is, and this is what they've always done. Aurora gets Coterre, but then Twinkie immediately follows him on the Imperial side.
Yep.
So at present, our tally
Imminent.
is
It's
1 left for
7
EMP.
to 1. Yeah, 7 to 1. So this is just down to Imminent, who is imminently dead.
Yeah.
There it is. So
There you go. And to be honest, there were quite a few fairly fresh mechs, comparatively speaking, nothing above 70s, but spread damage on the Stalker, the Ravens,
the
and other
Stalkers
things.
were in good shape.
They were. Stalkers are just great mechs for spreading that damage around. And, look at that damage spread there. EMP, 5 players below 200. And it's pretty hard to win a match on that. I think that, the range difference there really made a big deal.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm just looking at what a big difference between Esoteric and Moritz Coterre's damage numbers. I mean, those Stalkers should have been poking roughly equally and doing about the same amount of damage, but you had 552 versus 122. So Moritz was playing too cautiously in that Stalker.
To an extent, that said, he was also fresh at the end. When having a fresh Stalker is a huge benefit and just a killer to the other team. It's not great to hold your assaults in reserve like that, obviously. I don't think it's intentional, but it's never bad to have a fresh Stalker that late in the game. Esoteric, but definitely really pulling out for, and he was in a stalker, right?
Esoteric was in the stalker as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Esoteric, yeah, and that was a big damage difference, 122, lowest
Yeah,
damage
to
on the team from
500.
that other stalker.
Right.
I guess either he was specifically told to play a support role, or he just wanted to be extra cautious there.
Now, I think it was him that had lost his. He lost one arm. So I wonder if that caused him to be more cautious. But he had so much armor left on the rest of his mech. So I don't know why he didn't just right side hill poke and just keep poking away. But
A tough
well, we'll
call,
see.
but
Yeah.
again, if that was an intentional play though, where they held back the stalkers just to have like a fresh, slab of beef for the last few mechs,
The
that actually
push.
worked
Yeah,
out pretty well.
possibly.
So I guess any other outliers on scores? Not really. I wish I could see the chassis information here. That would be super helpful. But whatever. We're gonna draw stuff on Map Tactic now.
All right.
So,
So over to map tactic.
So just like you said, EmP just came right over the hill and set up at the ridge above Epsilon. And CSJ aggressively shifted basically towards that corner of I-5, and they just sort of crept right throughout the match, just sort of making their way over towards the between area of I-6, I-7, right up there on the
Yeah.
point of that ridge above Theta.
Yeah, there's a lot of space there to move around. I find that I think the better area for that side is kind of like more over here. The slope is more gentle, so it's easier to move forward and back. Versus this side. This side here is it's a sharper hill going up. So if you're a stalker, you kind of have a slower climb getting to that peak. Versus the left side of the Hotel 6 side. But they wanted to take Theta. They wanted to control the map and dictate when EmP had to push. So
And they
I
did,
think that
and
was the
then the
right
key
play.
part was falling back like they did. EmP did a little split sneaky push over here, got some mechs up there, and then later came wrapped around I-7. But as soon as they knew they'd started winning trades and they were a couple mechs up, CSJ backed off down here to, J6, J7, and then they just sort of stayed spread all over this area here and really made good defensive work there.
They also put a light over at Sigma inside the base, and just in that, not in Sigma, but in around Sigma, there, and was using the tanks as cover, and probably just looking for a different angle of fire. Maybe also, half scout, half pokey pokey, which I thought was smart, because if EmP decided to do this kind of push around this way, and I used the wrong color. Yeah, if they decide to do that push, here we go. Let's use orange. I'll move this over here.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was almost ponderous to see how EmP handled it, where I thought it was pretty obvious what was coming, and then they just, instead of adapting when it was clear they were losing the trades, they just sort of dug in and doubled down, and that was not the way to go. That said, they wasted those direwolves and most of their health pretty early. Again, I just
Yeah.
don't think they're trading mechs. I think they're commit and kill somebody kind of mechs, and I
Yeah.
just think that
Now,
CSJ got the better trades on them when they peaked out.
one of the spots that's actually decent for trading, I'm just going to clear this for a second. So when you have mechs that are up in this area trying to shoot, this spot here, it's small, but a few good pokers can make a difference on this area, because now it forces, if you have guys here and here, two things can happen. One is these guys now that are in the top of I-6, these guys here on top of I-6, they now have to look at two different angles. the drawback and the risk is that the J7 hill here gets pushed on, and so that's not as desirable. But this group here has clear line of sight. So if they do try to push from here to here, this group here just has free line of sight in this zone right here, and this team can then kind of roll back and get some cover. They can kind of go back to here. So as they crest around like this, they can get shot at from both groups. So that could have been an option EMP may have explored, but I don't know. I don't think they had enough armor to take the risk of going up to J7 maybe at that point.
Yeah, it was a tough call. I mean, when the first part of a round, ends up not in your favor, especially on something long range like that against a team that just wants to kite you, it's pretty hard to, say, well, fuck it, it's time to charge. Especially an assault down. That said, I'll be interested to see how they adapt in the coming rounds, because I think they're aware at this point that they're not going to win the straight up line trades. And if they do make those trades, like you said, maybe getting a couple different angles like they tried to do at the last point is going to be their only hope there to really put pressure on. Because CSJ did sort of scramble there a little bit. I mean, they were very cautious. I don't think they want to fight EMP straight up. And so I think the EMP can sort of use that to pressure them where they want to and get in their head.
So our next drop is 550 tons on Mining Collective. So Mining Collective is the center point is your capture point. Most teams don't try to go to the center. There's one side that's actually heavily favored for overlooking the center, and it's the side with the tankards that are on like 3 levels, and I think that's the team 1 side. Let's pull that up on the map. The area I'm talking about that's really, really solid defensively is right here. This area and basically this area here overlooks Theta. So the team that's on the right-hand side of the map can't really go and push on Theta if the red team gets posted up in those areas quickly. And so that negates the Theta cap. So this red team just does. They could just post up. They can stack. If they're running jump jet based mechs, they can get up to this area. Right here gives them a really good firing line, and through here, you can have a second layer of mechs. So everyone's got clear lanes of fire. Nobody gets in each other's way. Everyone's got their own tankard for cover. It's a fantastic spot to post up. It's actually what we did in our match this past week, and we just sat up there and pretty much let the other team come to us. So they tried to brawl and push into us, and we just had open fire. It was a pretty sweet setup. From the other side, I'm honestly at a loss. I really think it's so imbalanced defensively. So I don't see a really good defensive position for the team on the blue side. So who gets what side? Can you confirm that?
Let's take a look. We will be inviting CSJ soon, so it looks like EMP is going to have the advantage. They're going to be a red team.
Okay, so I'm going to just mark it.
That said, honestly, I don't expect EMP to post up anywhere on this one. I think they're just going to try to steamroll them. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think trades are going well for them. I think that CSJ will get rattled if they just slam into them. They've got the cover to do it on this map. So that's sort of what I expect. I'll be surprised, to be honest, if they post up and try to trade again. I'm not so sure that that's what they should be doing against this team.
How do I undo? There we go. CSJ there. So we got that cleared.
All right, let's see the drop deck for this. It's going to be 550. Okay. So some real fast math here. Divide that by 8. Yeah. I don't do math anymore. I have computers do math for me. Still, it's a fairly heavy deck. 8 players.
It's 550 tons. So this one's gonna favor heavy on timbers. I think we're gonna see just max. They're gonna try and max out the number of timbers. So you're probably gonna see five Timberwolves, 5 maybe 6. What did we run for a drop deck? Let's see. Trying to remember now. I'm just gonna pull up the drop deck that we used. So in our QQ match for this, we ran 1 light to scout, a Hellbringer, and 6 Timberwolves. So they might decide to not even run a light. They might run maybe 2 Stormcrows and 6 Timbers. That's a possible alternative. But having that light to scout was pretty useful for us because then we knew which way we needed to face and post up.
I can, honestly, I could see this going either way. I could definitely see a couple of fire starters for some knife fighting and some extra tonnage. But I could also see a really uniform Stormcrow Timberwolf deck where they just want to steamroll over them. They stay in your death bowl the whole time. There's no scouting. There's just going straight into them. And I think, again, they've got the cover on this map to probably pull it off.
I'm just scanning the chat here just to see if there's anything we missed. Somebody say.
I feel like there's someone trolling in chat.
There's always somebody trolling.
I
in
know.
Chat.
I drive a Jag.
You're talking about 2 teams that have been.
I feel like it's just
players
Vils.
renowned for chatting or for trolling.
Yeah. I should probably appoint some moderators and things, but I don't really know how to do that. And frankly, that's part of the fun. What's watching a shoutcast without a big shitty fight over nothing in chat? I mean, really. Looks like they're almost ready here, so we'll be dropping in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I guess I'll plug the last couple of things on the list. For those of you that don't know about Smurfy, what the hell are you doing? How do you build your mechs? How do you deal with the mech lab? Go to whatever. Find the link here, but Smurfy, because Smurfy, it's got all the stuff and resources. You can build a mech. You can see all the quirks. You can do all of the things.
You gotta update your score
in Smurfy.
Update the score.
I did. I've updated the score. Someone pointed that out to me a few minutes ago. You are just not seeing it yet, probably. But yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
So yeah, Smurfy. If you don't know about it, start knowing about it. It's the greatest resource for players available right now. Metamechs.com. For anyone who's looking at, how the hell do I build a mech? What is a good mech? Can you just give me stuff or even a baseline idea of what makes a good build? Metamechs is the place to go. It's got lots of master guides for each individual chassis, and frankly, even if you disagree with some of the builds or want to swap things out, they're great starting points. They always hit all the metrics of what makes a good build. So check it out. G-Man does that. And I've almost launched. Time's typing to me. And MWO League Network. It's what you're watching right now. We're pretty awesome. And we're going to be shoutcasting as much as we can. Check out MWOLN.com for upcoming matches, schedules, past matches, replays, all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah. And now we're just sort of waiting on Heim. He's just a fucking tease. So here I am.
Oh my god, this chat.
I know.
This chat has at least 2 trolls in
completely
here.
Derailed. Like, part of me wants to moderate, and the other part of me is just like, I've seen people ban Vils in Twitch chat before, and he just comes back with one of his other, 37 Twitch accounts. Like, there's no... I don't want to babysit Twitch chat. That just sounds horrible. That's not why I'm here. Jay pointed out something interesting, that this map looks like roadkill. Like it looks like a creature
It
got
looks-
flattened by something. It does. It looks like
It does, or like
it
it looks like it belongs on the floor as a furry rug.
Yeah, it's like two bears. So
It's like a Siamese
yeah, it's like
bear.
it's Siamese bear.
There you
Roadkill.
go.
Sweet. That's
That's
an
nickname for this
interesting-
map,
yeah.
Siamese bear.
I'll just start referring it to that every time we drop on that map. All right, let's see. Heimdallite launching in. All right, let's rock.
Okay, let's check it out. I haven't even finished running through this chat.
I haven't either.
ridiculous.
Basically, I just like make copies at various points and paste it into a notepad in case there's any relevant feedback in the endless drivel. And all right, they're already going. So all right, let me try to get you stuff. All right, for EMP, 2 fire starters, 3 direwolves, a hellbringer, and 2 stormcrows. So a very stratified deck, heavy on direwolves. And for CSJ, we've got 4 timberwolves, a hellbringer. No shit, that's like 6 timberwolves. Yeah, 6 timberwolves, a hellbringer, and a fire starter. So they're going with the uniform deck. Esoteric is going up to Theta right now, and I expect CSJ to push on Theta, whereas EMP is just going to sort of sit back with their direwolves and trade at the minute. It looks like they're all just getting sort of set up in their base.
Well, remember what I was saying about that position? So we actually had
Yep.
it backwards. So CSJ had the good side, as I call it, and they've put only 1 Timberwolf up in that area. They've decided to go right for the center. And yeah, we're just seeing long range trade firing line here.
Looks
So
like
what do
most of CSJ is getting positioned on or around Theta. They're taking a while to get set up, but we'll see what they're doing. It looks like they're shifting right. I don't know. We'll come back to them in a minute. EMP, in the meantime, is pretty much totally set up back here. They know what they're all about. They're just going to stand here in this firing line and fuck up anybody that comes out and peeks out. CSJ, I don't think they know what they want to do. They are sort of
No.
bunched up.
The-
I see 3 Timberwolves just sort of wandering around. I don't know that
they're
they
moving. Yeah, the way they're moving is telling me. I mean, right now they're suppressed.
Yep.
The 3 mechs on the ramp are just kind of hiding. You've got the other 3 mechs out of line of sight. Like they're just not. They're not
Yeah.
looking at EMP at all.
No, and they don't want it. And EMP's lights are over on the right. They're ready to make a dart move in case there's any fresh prey that's weak, or in case the CSJ scout happens to wander around the wrong way. But I will say, for the most part, well, they were being smart. They were being smart and just sitting back behind this instead of making trades. But
Well, Esoteric's taking a lot of damage.
yeah,
He's at
Esoteric took a
75%.
big one. How's that spread? Is he crit or is he looking okay?
Give me 1 second. I'll
Ooh,
tell you.
Imperial's moving in right now. Stormcrows,
Yeah.
direwolves, everything. We're gonna hop in on Rick Rom and this Stormcrow, and we're gonna get ready for a real fight here. They don't want to wait, and they know they're suppressed.
Yeah, the damage is around an Esoteric. It's probably an Artie strike.
No, Artie, it was a
Oh
alpha
wait, no,
from
there's no
direwolf.
strikes. Okay, so they just really spread that damage on him.
Yeah.
It's the kind of damage you would see from an Artie strike because
Yep.
the way it's spread out.
Well, EMP's push is coming right here. Got a Stormcrow waiting around the corner.
Okay, so now they're just basically ramp trading.
Ooh,
Got
Nova
4.
in the water just took some big hits there. He's open CT. It's impressive how much the lack of strikes affect positioning in this game. You look at this right here, and this is just has strike written all over it.
Yeah, a strike would have been gorgeous here. So the lights are hitting from a different angle. The Aurora is just poking and
Time
getting
delight at
shots in.
54%, and his direwolf, he's not looking good. He's going to have to back up now. Twinkie's taking his place, and oh, Twinkie got a shutdown direwolf. Full shot CT.
The fire starters for EMP right now are just wrecking them on top of platform. They're just poking, you're getting full alphas into
Ooh.
their timbers.
You're right. We're going to check in on Coburn then. Let's hop in there.
The ring rate is down.
Ring Wraith is down. Seleth and Heimdallite both incredibly weak in their direwolves. 2 down for CSJ. Esoteric is not looking good right now. They're still trapped. They're still trapped in that
So-
horrible little spot.
Yeah. Selith's percentage looks bad. It's just because he only lost one Goss, one side torso.
But
He's
Heim is
actually,
down,
got a lot
so
of armor.
they did get one of those dire wolves down.
Yeah, so Selith is in good shape, but his percentage looks bad. But it's he's got lots of armor left on the rest of them.
Esoteric goes down. Stormcrow, Rickrom is pushed up.
Hairpiece is open crit.
And now
about to lose his left.
CSJ is just getting pushed back. This looks like the cleanup now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selth is looking good in his dire wolf.
Yeah, 4-2. 5. Yeah.
Dario
it's
did get Rick Rom.
Closing up. So 4-3. This could swing. You never know.
It very well could. EMP is sort of back down.
Moritz is nursing his mech right now. I think he's got to get in there and at least get some Goss shots off or some right arm stuff going.
Yeah, I believe that, okay, it looks like CSJ is shifting right. They know they have to make a move because they are down on kills. And EMP is smartly just going to make them rush in. We're going to hop into Cotere
I'm going
here.
to third person here. I'm going to get the aerial. So right now you're seeing Saolith and Hairpiece are sitting at the top of the ramp. And looks like high ground. Oh.
Solitude goes down for CSJ.
Solitude's down.
Now it's 5-3. Another one. Moritz goes down.
Yeah. And now we got one Timber that's sitting up top, but he's open CT crit. That's Khan, I believe.
Yeah, Cotere is not going to... Yeah,
and he's getting fired
just
from
goes
two
down.
angles, and there's a fire starter next to him, and that's the last mech. So no way he's going to be able to take on 5 EMP. 5 EMP
Oh, come
guys.
on now. Have some faith.
And JP's at 81%, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, legged right away. That's
Ouch.
never fun. Ow.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yep, that is that. Well, EMP just dominated early, got him suppressed, push in, stole a couple of kills, and then played it smart by not being too aggressive. I think that was very well played by EMP. You see Moritzy, only 68 damage in that Timberwolf. And he was alive almost to the end, and it's just because he got caught so hard so early. You know, otherwise the damage spread is really not that much different. EMP had a lot of weak mechs, but they really put damage on the right places at the right time, and they end up taking it for that reason.
Yeah, Moritzy cranked out, you know, only 68 points of damage. He was the one that was in the Stalker previously that did 100 and change, right? So
I believe so, yeah.
yeah, so you know, I hate to say it, but he's kind of letting down the CSJ team here with his damage output. So I don't know if he's overexposing himself and just losing on trades, or if he
on
just
that one,
happens
I
to
believe
present
that
himself
was
first, or what.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that first round where he was being extra cautious, but this round he definitely ended up.
So pull up map tactic. We'll
I don't see any other outliers on damage. EMP just, you know, 4 people in the 400s. It's really hard to beat when that happens. So there you go. Get this end around thing, and here we go. Map tactic.
Okay, we got map tactic up. So what CSJ did was they pretty much went here. They went to Theta. They just brought their guys up right up to Theta, kind of like that. They wanted to capture Theta and hold it and trade, but the EMP firing line was pretty much right there. They didn't have to move very far, and they had lanes of fire in between the buildings, kind of like this.
Yep,
you know?
they really set it up in a nice line, and yeah, that really hurt CSJ, especially when they had like 3 or 4 Timberwolves pinned down right there where I just put that X. I mean, they had 4 guys just crammed in there, and they knew they couldn't do anything about it, and for the most part they were smart, but two of them ended up poking out, and two of them got alpha by a dire wolf. That's 15% of your health gone right there.
Well, that's it. They were stuck in that X because if they went to here to try to drop down to here, they would have just taken a ton of fire. And if they back away, they're gonna just get ripped apart. If they try to go full speed down the hill, they'll probably get shot out in the back. So they were just in a bad spot, and they had no choice but to drop sort of back into this area. And that's those trades were just really, really good by EMP.
Yep, they I don't think CSJ knew what they wanted to do at the beginning of that round. I think they were sort of waiting to play it by ear, where, I saw him just sort of strung out, one Timberwolf here and a Firestarter up with him, a couple of Timberwolves, scattered along the back. And it just didn't seem like they made a decision and committed, whereas EMP knew what they were doing, they did it, they executed, and it just shows.
Yeah, I think what I was talking about earlier about taking this area and maybe this area and just basically overlooking Theta and maybe let them come up. That might have been a better setup for them, just because of the jump jets and so on. The dire wolves would have a harder time, especially up here. This zone right here that I'm going to color in is a great spot for timbers, because they can shoot. Oh, I didn't mean to move that. New line. They can shoot, down this way. They can shoot here. They can shoot through here. So, if EMP decided to go this way, they would have shots on them. And if they decided to come up the ramp here, they would have shots on them. And if they tried to go kind of this way and around, they'd have high ground on them as well. Like, that's a superior position. And some patients might have seen EMP get aggressive, as they're known for, and that could have been a closer fight than it was.
Yeah, and the other thing that really helped EMP there was those lights that posted up right there early on in the game, and then just sort of made life hard by taking runs around there, while CSJ was pinned. It was
Yeah.
great execution, just what you want your lights to do. Get them scared, and then just start taking free damage with those lights, and that's what they did. And there was just no coming back from that.
There's a CSJx timber where I'm putting this dot, and the lights just kept poking and poking at him, and he just didn't know. He couldn't turn any direction, really, because he was getting shot at this way and he was getting shot at this way. So, when you're in a crossfire like that and they're coming from behind cover, you're pretty much
I mean,
pretty much fucked.
honestly, I don't know why they sat there. Like, I understand that it's like, well, no matter which way you come out, you're going to take some damage. They would have been far better off getting the fuck out of that position as quickly as they could and trying to regroup anywhere else. That was just not a good place to be. But any last words on that before we head over to Canyon Network?
Well, let's talk about those damage numbers just a little bit. What did we see here?
4 400s for EMP, 168. I mean, like one sub 100 score for CSJ by Mortzy, and another sub 200 score. Otherwise, the damage was all right, but clearly, if you add those numbers up, EMP did an extra 400 or 500 damage there, and just can't win when you're doing
and
that much less.
Well placed from the looks of it too. There were a lot of open chord Timberwolf CTs.
Absolutely. All right, heading over to Canyon here.
So we're match 4, and Canyon Network is a 500-ton drop. So this could go long range again, potentially. 500 tons is plenty of tonnage to be able to do some pretty beefy builds. You could run a bunch of timbers, a pair of Hellbringers. You can run 4 timbers, 2 Hellbringers, 2 Ravens, and go for a more long range standoff. If they want to run an extra light, then they could afford to ton up and have a dire wolf. So they can run 1 dire, 3 timber, 2 hellbringer.
User joined your channel.
Or sorry, 1 hellbringer actually, with 3 ravens. So there's a couple options here.
User left your channel.
Okay, we need to lock this. People need to not do that. This is not okay.
User was moved out of your channel.
There, he's out.
Yeah, but we need to lock it. I don't want that sound. I don't know how to lock anything. I'm terrible at this.
I'll do it.
All right, I'm gonna leave that to you. Wait, Sirius is messaging me. Okay. All right. So CSJ is going to be
Your channel
team
was edited.
2. EmP is going to be team 1, so they're going to have the south side of the map. Oh god, it's terrible. Writing EmP in this thing without selecting the already written text is really hard. Wrong color. Alright. So, Kappa must be the point they're fighting over in this one if they choose to cap. I sort of expect CSJ to sit back here in the back of Charlie 4 maybe and make trades from along this ridge. That seems like that would be their style, and that's a decent place to set up. Imperial, I don't know. It's really anybody's guess. I could see them pushing around right really hard to preempt that move, sort of around Sigma and just crash into them hard, but I can also see them just taking the other side of Kappa and trading from there, trying to set up in this area and get some trades. You can get a good firing line there. Most teams are not very adept at it. They end up having, 1 mech or 2 mechs out at any given time, but there's enough elevation change, particularly on this little slope, that you can get 3 or 4 mechs stacked up right there ready to alpha somebody. So
yep.
I don't really see the theta side coming into play. Canyons are just awful and no one really goes there, but maybe we'll see something surprising.
Depends where they launch. I mean, I think this group here will definitely come up here right away, and this group here could come up and kind of be in this area here, right? So we could have sort of 2 angles, and that gives them the ability to fire at stuff coming this way, and fire. Oops. And I lost my sketch. And it gives them the ability. God damn.
Well, it
gives them the ability to fire this way as well, right? From the 2 ends, and then these guys can get shots.
It just looks like a really angry face right now. I like it.
Sketch tool failed. Like,
yeah, right. I know. It's like I just want to draw on that top of that line. Can't I have like a different select option instead of every tool being on automatically select default? I don't know. It's weird, but hey.
I know, right?
Whatever. I'm not paying for it.
You know what I'm talking about here. So
yes.
So they could post up on 2 angles. If they're gonna put timbers on the Delta 4 side, they can easily pull across. I'm just gonna use the ping markers. Here we go. So they can go from here to here pretty easily, and rejoin just because they're jump capable. So if CSJ happens to come up here, I can see some guy sitting here shooting across, and another guy's posting up around here, poking through Kappa and around. But we'll see how that plays out.
So far we've seen CSJ take the middle point both maybe all 3 times. No, they didn't on the first round. They didn't care about it the first round. But I sort of expect them to do the early cap thing again. Maybe not, but it doesn't seem like EmP is interested in it, so that's just, one more thing to force their kind of play style and force EmP to come to them. That said, I could also see that working out in a negative way if EmP decided to take advantage of that, and run a couple of, light hunter lights and try to get somebody's leg early on. I don't really expect that, obviously, but it is a possibility.
Yeah. I'm just looking at chat here.
Still,
anything useful in here? You might need to moderate this chat, dude.
I know, it's such a...
Or
fuck,
assign
man,
a
it's
moderator.
like a 4chan board.
Don Eno volunteered to moderate chat if you want to give him
I don't know.
moderation power.
How do I give people moderation powers? I don't even think I can because I'm not logged in as MWOLN. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think actually that belongs to Heim Delay.
Viewers, it is my promise to you that I will get this shit sorted out. If you re-elect me, yeah, I'll find someone to moderate chat. Although, whatever. I don't have high hopes, anyways. Wait, the match has begun. It's in. Yes. Oh shit, we gotta go. I'm delayed.
Okay, quick.
There we go.
They just told you this now. It's just loading it.
Okay.
You're good. Okay,
Alright.
so Canyon Network, 500 tons.
Okay.
And
Things are already on their way, but not too on their way. Okay, so 2 dire wolves going up the canyon, 3 stormcrows, a hellbringer, and a raven 2x, and a fire starter, which is going way left for Imperial. And for CSJ, they're all balled up right where I thought they would sort of hold out. Lots of Timberwolves, 5 Timberwolves,
Yep.
2 fire starters, and a stormcrow.
And a
And they're all going to
Stormcrow.
camp that hill, and they are going to trade from right there. Aurora
Yeah.
and the fire starter was apparently just doing a quick scout. Doesn't look like he's committing over there. Direwolves are going up this little interesting ramp. Now, kids, pay attention. This is the kind of thing that most people do not notice, or don't know that exists. There are a couple of these places on this map where you can get up, and they're using that to their advantage.
except Sealith is not able to get up.
Ooh, and it looks
So
like
he's gotta reposition.
CSJ is shifting aggressively left because they know the direwolves are stuck over on the right side. They might try to push. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
This Raven
they're
2X
going
Eminent
river.
is caught out. He is not in a good place right now. We're going to see how this goes, but I don't think he's going to make it out of there. I think they're going to be down on a light. Yes, he is cord, rear CT.
Rithen's down to 51%. He's taking some hard trades. Oh, he's down to 48% now. Yeah, jump in his cockpit and check out what his status is.
Hold on, I'm watching Eminent. I'm seeing if he's not going to get away. I think he dropped off the
No,
wrong.
he's
Yep.
done. He's done.
And he is
Yep.
gone. So the first kill, the CSJ, is a great move by them. They saw the direwolves going up on the left. They knew they were separated. This Hellbringer Proton now down in the canyon. Horrible position to be in, and they're going to know it because they have a low signal unless he's turned off his ECM. So we're going to see how this works out, but I don't see any good way for Proton unless he just gets the hell out.
So yeah, Proton's watching the top of the hill right now. You can see him kind of moving around, trying to.
Ooh, fire starters are closing in on Selith, and Selith is alone. Let's see how this goes. We're gonna jump into. I don't want to jump into Selith's cockpit, but there's so much going on this map right now.
Yeah.
Hellbringer Proton, they know he's there. They're not too worried about him. He's trying to get away, but I don't really
Okay, the
have high
fire
hopes.
starters are going to move in on Selith now. It looks like so. One shooting from above, one shooting from the side. He's
Selith's
getting
gonna
hit
go
from
down.
2 directions, so he's going to get ripped up. Oh, they might be backing off. I don't know.
Still, Selith has to camp. They're keeping that direwolf stationary. They're taking it out of play right now. It's like keeping
Aurora's coming to help. Aurora's coming to help now. He's going to jump on Solitude. Oh, here we go. Solitude.
Oh,
might
and he
actually
got-
fight it.
Proton got Nova in the water. I am shocked. Proton ended up getting a kill. They have not been aggressive. He's been down in this canyon forever, and they have not taken him.
Yeah, this is a missed opportunity to kill him. Now they see him. Now they're shooting.
Wow,
They're
lots
trying
of
to shoot at
cord
him.
out mechs on CSJ side though. 2 Timberwolves with one shot CT basically. Cell is still looking
Twinkies.
great in his direwolf. I mean, as much as he's lost stuff, he's fine on that left side.
Yeah, and Twinkie's down to 49%. So I'm gonna just hop into his.
Rithen's cord out
his
all over in his Stormcrow. Proton and the Hellbringer, as much as he was looking kind of damaged, he's got it spread really nicely, and he's going to be just fine. As spread as EMP is, I don't think CSJ has the wherewithal to just push one direction right now.
Yeah, Maritza is really fucked up. Both side torsos open, back is open. He still has all his weapons. Imminent just went down. Or Sealith, sorry. Sealith just went down.
And
So,
all of a
CSJ
sudden,
is
now
up. Oh,
CSJ
now it's
is sort of
2-2.
trapped in this corner, and the lights have them pinned on a corner. Looks like they're shifting back to the right, trying to get away from this corner if they can. Let's check out overall positioning.
EMP has the high ground, and
God,
this
they're
is
split.
what we saw again on Tourmaline. You know, they gave up the high ground. CSJ gave up high ground here, and EMP is holding high ground on them. So there
Proton
isn't
coming
much
from
they
the
can do.
far left with his Hellbringer. Rhythm taking a lot of damage, down at 34% in his Stormcrow. He's going to be probably one hit and gone. This Hellbringer, all out on his own. This is a ballsy move right here.
Rhythm can if he can spread that damage, he can get off a couple of alphas for sure.
Yeah, Proton is just taking him out. They're ignoring him, and they're going to die because of it. Wow.
Yeah, Proton's making really good trades. His
And-
left torso's open now, so he may lose that if one or two more
Still,
pokes. I'm
he
just gonna
distracted
watch
him
it.
long enough for the rest of EMP to move in on the right
Oh,
side.
another kill.
Yep.
Yeah, Proton. Yep, he pulled away and they totally ignored it.
Just 2 fire starters left. Dario 3 is going to be it. EMP pulled that
and it's
out
over.
somehow. Wow. Wow. That was a good match.
Yeah, that's it. So that was going all right for CSJ in the beginning.
I thought CSJ had it. I didn't think there was any way EMP was going to come back from being that split up.
Yeah. Well, and that's the skill of VMP, right?
Look at the
They're able
damage
to
numbers.
pull themselves out of a hole.
I'm pretty sure that CSJ did more damage. They had
More
a better
damage, yeah.
spread
I
in
see
general.
more
They did more damage, and it didn't matter. It
It's
didn't
spread
matter.
out. Yeah, because it wasn't focus damage. That's the problem, right? It was a lot of multiple open components. You know, when I was spectating some of the EMP players, they had more than one component that were open. So that damage just needed to be more focused by CSJ, and they could have had it. Imminent was the one that they jumped all over, right? In the Raven.
Yes, they jumped on them, and then they kept pushing left like they should have. I mean, I think they did great until they got to that corner and just said, "I guess we're going to stand here," because that was not a good corner. Imperial was split for 80% of the match. They were just all over the map, and instead of it turning into a terrible disadvantage for them because they're split, it ended up actually being an advantage because they got the opportunity to put hits on from multiple sides on CSJ because CSJ didn't just pick a side and push.
Well, them not finishing Proton off when he was down in that valley was a big mistake.
It was.
You know,
They were
they
not
could've-
aggressive when they needed to be.
Those Timberwolves are jump capable. I mean, they could have pushed down into that valley and come back up, or pulled back. I mean, there's so many options available to them. I mean, easy for us to say, right? Because
It is true. It's always always in hindsight. Still, though, I think that CSJ again, they started pushing. They pushed at the right time, but they didn't follow through. They got hung up. I'm gonna go ahead and go over to map tactics here and sketch out what was going on. But basically, EMP was all over the place. Their direwolves tried to weasel their way up here, which is fine. But CSJ saw that. CSJ saw that, hey, the beef is over here, and they're just going to be sort of hung up trying to wiggle up that ramp. Imminent got caught right here behind this rock and his Raven. And at the point where, they saw him so split up, CSJ moved from their initial camp position of here, and then they just aggressively pushed down this way. And it was all going great. They got the Raven they wanted. And then they kept going around where Selith, because he knew that he wasn't going to make it up. The first direwolf made it up and scooted. Oh, God. What happened to the map?
Yeah. What'd you do?
I don't know. It just loaded another map on my map. So we're just going to refresh and hope it all fixes itself.
It was fine on my screen.
Yeah, well, now
right,
I don't have anything drawn on mine, but hey, you know what? Whatever. That was the last match, so there's no rush here.
Push. Yeah, the CSJ push was sort of down that way. I'm going to put a star where Proton was because he overextended and managed to, I shouldn't say overextended, but he went from using the ping marker, he was up here.
He was further than that. Check out where my little red squiggly is.
Was he up there?
Yeah.
Or was he
Yeah,
further back here?
he was that rock right there.
Okay,
He
and
was
then he
way far
dropped
exposed.
down to here and was kind of stuck down there
Mm,
because he knew if he ended up back here,
yeah.
he was going to get killed. But they totally ignored him. They didn't even
Yeah.
capitalize. And there were Timberwolves. There were Timberwolves up here, and all they had to do was come to the edge and shoot down and rip them up. And they missed that opportunity
And
to
then
do
the
that.
direwolf here on the corner as well. I marked it with a D in Echo 3. Basically, if they'd just come around this corner in force, they would have had this direwolf. But instead, they sort of played with it for a little bit with their lights, and that was going okay, but they really needed to take down these separated mechs. You know, they missed Proton out in the valley, like you said. They didn't capitalize on that direwolf, and then the rest of EMP, they're spread all over hell and gone up by Kappa, which is good for trading and whatnot. But helping those stranded mechs, it was not. So I think that ultimately it was just another push that stalled out for CSJ.
And I also think just giving up that high ground that they had in D4 and dropping down into Echo 4 was the mistake there. They couldn't get an advantageous trade, and I believe Proton ended up getting out of there. He went out of there. He went back up to here, and he just when CSJ got to this point.
Yeah, Proton
this
went
way.
all the way around up this little thing here and came around and shot at him from this lane right there. It was just devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was. I did not think that Imperial was going to be able to pull that out, but ultimately, I think that was credit to Imperial. It's hard to pull that one out, but that said, I think it was more CSJ's mistake than it was Imperial's. Magical recovery on that one. I just think that push needed to keep going, especially with jump capable mechs. It really makes you wonder. It's like you're not going to get stuck in a canyon with that many Timberwolves. I mean, you can jump wherever the hell you need to.
Yeah, I'm. It's funny that the direwolves, they're being out of position, or one of them being out of position. I feel like that could have been a pivotal moment for them to get that direwolf down early. There were a couple of mechs there that were open front and back, so it just came down to the focus fire and not finishing off crit mechs.
That said, I will say that when I jumped into CSJ, I was surprised to see how many opened up Timberwolves there were. So clearly EMP was making good trades when they were making them with those mechs, but it is just, that's one of those, it's like, it doesn't matter how many ER large lasers you have, there's some guy down in the canyon alone. You've got to kill that guy. You've got to kill that direwolf that's stranded alone around the corner before his buddies get there to him. You can't waste those kind of opportunities.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing that's challenging with using direwolves is you want to be aggressive, you want to get in a good position, and then you risk leaving your direwolves in a bad spot. And in this case, their direwolves were in a terrible spot, or one of them was anyway, but not being able to path up to Delta 3, and that's pretty critical for capitalizing on those kind of mistakes. I mean, this is why you see a lot of NASCAR going on in the group queue or pug queue, because they're hunting for that direwolf or other assault that's just left as a straggler because the rest of the team is moving along at 80 plus kph.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that the CSJ could have done, I suppose, is just take that Raven and fall back to their original position and not let it, affect their strategy. But I think that, 2 times it was, you could have gone either way on the call. Push wasn't a bad call. It just wasn't executed as well as it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, any other thoughts on this before we wrap this up for the evening?
Well, I can talk a little bit about RHoD standings. So after that match, let's see here, current events. So after that match, we will see Imperial with a 4-0 record. Smoke Jag and Steel Jaguar hold a 301 record. Restless Adders sitting at a 301 record. And then rounding out the top 5 is 228, well, I guess sort of a multi-way tie between 228, Seraphim, QQ, and the other 228th team, all with a 2-win, 2-loss record. So you'll start to see some separation in week 5. And week 5 pairings, I got it here actually. Week 5 pairings for North America 8v8 has Imperial versus Restless Adders, CSJ against Steel Jag, 228th Swamp Foxes, which against, so basically 228 versus 228, so their A and B teams are facing off. CK Clan Kodiak versus Seraphim, Isengrim versus QQ Mercs, and then Sky Rangers versus APOC or Apocalypse Lancers. So those are the pairings for next week, or actually, well, really it starts this week technically, into early next week. So we're gonna have a pretty exciting matchup there on the CSJ Steel Jag one. That would be a really interesting series, and of course 228th A and B will be a fun one for the guys in 228.
Yeah, I definitely like to watch that one. It's always good having a friendly rivalry within your own unit. It's nothing like, in-house 12s, so it should be fun to watch, especially when there's something at stake.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Well, I guess that'll do it for us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I think I've managed to update all the elements correctly, and I didn't, abuse you with paint this time. So, hooray for me!
No.
And
With
hopefully we'll be casting a bunch of stuff next week as Major League MechWarrior kicks off. We'll hopefully also try to catch some of those upcoming RHoD matches. So stay tuned to MWOLN for all the best MechWarrior showcasts. And see you later, everybody. Thanks for joining me,
take it
Karp.
easy. No problem.